Alright, in this video we're going to talk about cleaning up some more of your drawings. So we have a section open here, and what we're going to do is talk about what to do in kind of this case. One, we see kind of a lighter line weight going on, so to handle that, this has already got an architectural plan associated with it, so let's go into its view template. And in fact, let's go ahead and rename that. We'll call it Ortho Drawings, just so it seems, a little bit more like anything that we might use for a section and whatnot. All right. So one thing we need to change is to, in the object styles, change general model settings. If you see that thing that's getting a little light, it's because it's kind of a general model and it needs to be turned up to the, like, say 5. So let's apply that. Still didn't work. Let's try something else. And I'm going to go through here and kind of look at the various different types and what it's cutting through and see if it's accurate. So not everything wants to be 5. But say like your masses, they would want to be 5. Some of these things are cut smaller because they're very thin things like railings and whatnot, so you don't want them to be really heavy. But other things, perhaps even say this, we'll change that so that everything gets to be consistent that's at that kind of scale. So let's see what that does. I turned half of it to the right color. I don't know why this is still being a pain. Alright, so what I've found is that this is on form subcategory. So forget why we exactly did that, but let's just go with it. And in here we'll make sure that mass and form also gets that heavier cut. Alright, so there you go. Alright, so a couple of things happened on the way to the theater here. This thing is showing up to be blocking the rest of the view. So let's make sure that we know what that is. Let's put it on that skylight. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that that view template should have already been set up to basically turn off anything on the skylight of mass. So let's turn that off. Make sure that's turned off. Wow. Alright, so it's being a pain. I'm going to just go ahead and delete it. It's probably a good time to save as and make sure I don't lose anything, but I'm pretty confident that I don't see it like doing anything else. So there's that. So now we see the section in kind of a better light. There's other things that you can do. This is a mass, that might be, maybe I can start to look at joining. So what you can do is hit the join. See if that look like it did it a little bit. I may have to mess with this the hair. There we go. So then you can join things. It may not work down here. I don't think that that is a joinable object, but I'll try it. Yeah, that did not work. Other things that you can do to clean things up, is say like you don't want that line. Let's see what we can do about that. So we're going to modify, go to invisible. See, that didn't work. Let's tab through. Yeah, it looks like that line may be a problem. There's other things that I don't like. One is the kind of poche that's in here. The other, again, that line. So I'll give you another trick. Essentially, this is the kind of fail-safe, is to go to field region. So there you can draw any kind of shape. In fact, that's what I might have to do. And then within that you can tell it which color you'd like it. That said filled solid black. At some point I had turned it to white. Probably should have duplicated it and called this white. And then go ahead and turn off by editing the boundary. You can go ahead and tell all of these lines to be invisible. So there's that. Okay, but that didn't get into Poche, how to control Poche, but this would be another area that I'd want to use that region. So bear with me. And this is all part of Revit. Unfortunately, it's not going to get every drawing perfect. It's going to get every drawing close. And you're going to have to work a little bit to get it to something that is meets your standards. Or in this case, my standards. So you could probably increase that to a certain point, and then everything looks pretty good there. Alright, although maybe that line needs to go away and it should be just cascading. So again, you would want to kind of play with it. This line right here looks a little obnoxious, so again, that's where you might use an invisible line. Tab through until you find your culprits. There you go. So it's going to take a little bit of play, but as far as Poche, this is the way that you handle Poche. In the view template, because we've assigned a view template, what we're going to do is look at, holding on to, say, the course value, and in course we'll let this override kind of work. So here we go with, you'd go through and you'd find like all the things that you're cutting through. So like general models, I'm going to cut through that. I'm going to make it, say, right now, black. and solid, and you do that maybe for masses, like solid. And say look for like floors. Let's just see where we're at with that. So then you can see, you know, we're getting pretty close. This would want to change to our black, which I had changed in here. Change it back. So that's looking pretty good. And then that one would also want to change to black. And you can, yeah, I think that what I would look at is a kind of combination of looking at a good poche to use to clean up some of your drawings. I would, it may be worth risking to take a look at what it would mean to start to show shadows for your elevations or even materiality. So you might want to play with that. I'll get a little bit more into that later.